Happy Q&A Wednesday. This is Dawn Connors. So the question of the week is, how can I buy a home from a family member and what's the avenues to do it? And then what are the advantages? So let's get started. The first way that you can buy a home from your family member is to deed yourself onto their title, wait 6 months, and cash out refinance. You can do this when the home is free and clear, so there's no mortgage debt on it, and your family member wants to sell you the house for 20% or more equity. They want to give the house to you and have you buy it from them, and they want to give you at least 20% of their equity, maybe even more. So an example of this would be a home that's $250,000. They want to sell it to you for $200,000 or less. So in that case, you could add yourself onto their title, wait 6 months for the title to season and become equally yours, and then cash out refinance, and at that time remove them from title. That is option number one. Option number two is where you buy the home with a purchase agreement with your family member, and either you bring your own closing cost and down payment and prepaid items to the closing table. Let's say that same $250,000 home and you wanted to put 20% down. That's $50,000 plus closing costs and prepaids. You might have $58,000 that you need. Or you buy the home with a first-time home buyer program at 3% down, and at $7,500 plus those same costs might cost you about $15,000 out of pocket. So you can absolutely do that, and your folks or your relatives might want to waive tax prorations or help you with some closing costs. So the coolest thing about buying a home from a family member is that you can do it with a gift of equity with as little as 3 or 5% down, whatever your minimum down payment requirement is. Let me explain. So you want to buy your home from a family member for $250,000, or let's say that they want to get $230,000 from the home. They want to get $230,000, and the home we believe is worth $250,000. You can make the home price $250,000, have the first $8,000 cover any closing costs, money for your escrows for future taxes, proration of taxes, and have that cover that. And then you can have the balance, the $12,000, be your down payment. So it would look like seller to contribute $8,000 towards buyer's closing costs and prepaids, and seller is related to the buyer in such and such a way and agree to do a gift of equity for the buyer's down payment of $12,000. Then your mortgage amount becomes the $238,000, right? Your $250,000 minus your down payment of $12,000, so $238,000. And then you virtually come to closing with maybe $1,000 in an appraisal, or next to nothing in an appraisal cost because you pay that appraisal up front. And you have a mortgage with your down payment that was equity of the $12,000. And then you have your closing costs paid for by your sellers as well. And then your sellers, your parents or your family member, they get the home, they get the cash in hand of $230,000 less a little bit of closing costs that they have. So pretty exciting stuff. The biggest thing that you can know when you are buying a home from a family member is if there's equity in the house, your folks or your relatives can gift that equity to you, and you can use it towards either down payment and closing costs. It's the only type of loan that you can do that with. There's no other type of seller that is permitted to gift you down payment money. Only your relatives, and that's what makes it so exciting. So we talked about 2 different ways: a quitclaim deed if the home is free and clear, or if the home has a mortgage or your parents aren't able or relatives aren't able to gift you as much as 20% equity. The second way to do it is to formulate it with a purchase agreement and to do a small gift of equity, and to also have closing costs either paid by you or by the donor of the house. This is Dawn Connors at Mortgage One, providing you fantastic mortgage solutions. Thanks for watching.